World War II was not just a global conflict, it was the moment humanity stood on the edge of extinction. A collision of ambition, fear, revenge, and desperation created the deadliest event in human history. And the most terrifying truth? This entire war was triggered by one small spark, a spark so unexpected that it changed the world forever. But before we dive in, pause for a second. Millions of viewers think they know how World War II started, but most of them are wrong. What you are about to hear is the version hidden between history books, the version schools skip, and documentaries never fully reveal. So don't blink. Don't skip. Because the next 10 minutes will change the way you understand WW2 forever. The war officially began on September 1, 1939, when Germany launched a brutal invasion of Poland. Europe, still recovering from World War I, was dragged back into chaos. Britain and France declared war, but Adolf Hitler had planned this for years. His ideology revolved around Lebensraum, meaning living space, but in truth, it was a blueprint to dominate Europe, to erase borders and build a German empire stretching from the Atlantic to the Ural Mountains. Germany's blitzkrieg strategy shocked the world. Lightning-fast tanks, coordinated aircraft strikes, and mechanized troops overwhelmed nations before they could fight back. Poland fell within weeks. Denmark in hours. Norway shortly after. Belgium and the Netherlands collapsed. And then came the most shocking defeat, France. Despite having one of the strongest armies, France fell in just 6 weeks because Hitler bypassed the massive Maginot Line through the Ardennes, an area France wrongly believed was impossible for tanks. This single mistake changed the fate of Europe. With Europe collapsing, Britain stood alone. Hitler prepared to crush them from the skies. The Battle of Britain became the largest air war the world had ever seen. German bombers crossed the Channel daily, but Britain had one secret weapon, radar. It allowed their pilots to detect incoming attacks long before they arrived. German commanders believed Britain had developed unnatural supernatural senses, but it was technology and courage that kept the nation alive. Meanwhile, another storm was rising in the Pacific. Japan, expanding aggressively across Asia, saw the United States as its biggest obstacle. On December 7, 1941, Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, destroying ships, planes, and thousands of American lives. The United States immediately entered the war, turning World War II into a global conflict on every continent. But the deadliest battleground of all lay in the East. Hitler, confident after conquering most of Europe, invaded the Soviet Union in Operation Barbarossa, one of the largest military invasions in human history. At first, the Germans advanced rapidly. Villages burned, cities fell, and entire populations were displaced. But when the brutal winter arrived, German troops found themselves dying in the snow, their weapons frozen, their supplies gone. The Eastern Front became a nightmare where more than 26 million Soviets would perish, the bloodiest chapter in the war. The Battle of Stalingrad became the turning point. From late 1942 to early 1943, Germany's strongest army was surrounded, starved, and destroyed. It shattered Hitler's illusion of invincibility. Meanwhile, the Allies gained momentum in North Africa and invaded Italy, collapsing Mussolini's regime. Then came one of the most important days in human history, June 6, 1944, D-Day. Over 156,000 Allied soldiers stormed the beaches of Normandy in the largest seaborne invasion ever attempted. The fighting was brutal, chaotic, and bloody, but it succeeded. From that moment onward, Germany's defeat became inevitable. By 1945, the Allies closed in from all sides. Soviet troops pushed from the east, capturing city after city. American, British, and Canadian forces advanced from the west. Inside an underground bunker in Berlin, Hitler faced reality as his empire crumbled. On April 30, 1945, he took his own life. 1 week later, Germany surrendered, ending the war in Europe. But the war wasn't over yet. Japan refused to surrender. Despite massive losses, destroyed fleets, and firebombed cities, Japan fought on. The United States faced a brutal decision: continue fighting at the cost of millions more lives, or use a weapon the world had never seen before. In August 1945, atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Entire cities vanished in seconds. Finally, Japan surrendered, and World War II came to an end. The aftermath was unimaginable. Around 85 million lives were lost. Nations lay in ruins. The Holocaust revealed unimaginable horrors. Governments collapsed. Borders changed. The United Nations was formed to prevent another global catastrophe. World War II didn't just reshape countries, it reshaped humanity. It stands as a permanent reminder of how ambition can destroy nations and how fragile peace truly is.